Today, we are diving into 4 use cases for the Gemini CLI, which are not just transforming how developers work in the past years, they are about to reshape how everyone uses AI, because coding has become accessible to all the people. And the best part, with the open source AI agent from Google, you can build literally anything. The first use case would showcase Gemini's multimodal support, such as file operations and image understanding. So in the Photos folder, I have 4 different photos. A photo of a mushroom, a lake, a dog, and a sunset. But they're not named meaningfully. The names are 1, 2, 3, and 4 JPEG. I'd like Gemini to rename them according to their content. So we'll start Gemini with the YOLO flag and prompt Gemini to please rename the photos inside the Photos directory according to their content. Especially the poodle dog in the photo isn't very easy to recognize. So I'm curious how Gemini would be able to recognize it. And after letting its thoughts marinate for a bit, analyzing, categorizing the images, it finally renamed the files and called them dog, lake, mushroom, and sunset, which looks pretty spot on. One thing to note is that if the photos are too big, Gemini will fail because it won't be able to fit them into its context window. So you may want to compress them before that. Let's check out our photos with their new names now. And to me, it looks like Gemini did the perfect job. Now on to SearchTool. The second use case showcases Gemini's SearchTool to get up-to-date information from the internet. You remember the times when we would ask AI the most trivial question and it would respond something that is out of date because at that time AI didn't have access to the web or to search tools to fetch up-to-date information. And now Gemini has access to those tools, which makes the AI agent so much more powerful. Now we can get up-to-date information, and let's do that. I can prompt Gemini to tell me the 3 top activities that I can do in Munich today. Then Gemini starts searching the web, thinking, researching, and after a while it responds with 3 great suggestions: visiting Marienplatz, exploring Deutsches Museum, and relaxing in the English garden. And from my time in Munich, I can tell you that those are pretty amazing. Finally, let's have Gemini do what it does best, write some code for us. I'll prompt Gemini to implement a minimal recipe generator web app with Next.js and Tailwind. Gemini then starts planning and begins the implementation. After a while, as it's typical, a shell appears that needs my input. I focus the shell via Ctrl+F and confirm that it's okay to continue, so that Gemini can finish the implementation. Gemini further utilizes tools such as Google SearchTool to find a free recipe API without authentication, and a few seconds later our application is up and running. So let's check it out. The first recipe is lamb, second is Chelsea buns, and they all look delicious. Let me try to break this app by spamming the get random recipe button. And then I keep spamming the button, but nothing really changes. The app looks solid. So Gemini did a pretty good job. The app didn't break after spamming this button. And last but not least, we can also follow up and ask Gemini to explain the architecture of the applications, which is actually really useful, which is something that happens very often in our jobs. When you want to work on some microservices from some other team, you can go in there, ask Gemini to explain the architecture, and you get to ramp up really quickly. So Gemini analyzes the code and responds with a very detailed summary. However, I don't have that much time, so I prompt Gemini to give me a shorter summary. And as we're used to from Gemini, it delivers again. So those were 4 useful use cases for Gemini that developers use in their day-to-day workflows. And I think all the people would start using them because code is becoming so much more accessible. I've created the ultimate Gemini CLI guide on YouTube, which I'm going to release in the following days on my channel. Once released, I'm going to link the video in the description if you're interested. Thanks for watching.